Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys and girls, you know, there's a lot of people out there that saw the Borderlands trailer and was like, you know what, this kind of looks okay, maybe it'll be alright. I mean, we've had a lot of bad video game adaptations over the years, but there was also a lot of people out there that took one look at this thing and knew this was going to be a disaster. It was a dumpster fire. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what we've got on our hands right now, because not only is Borderlands failing miserably at the box office in its Thursday night previews, the first reports of ratings from the audience score has come in. And while let's just say it is better than the critic score, but it is certainly not something you want in any way, shape, or form. And why should that surprise anybody out there? It should not come as a shock to anybody who's actually paying attention, ladies and gentlemen, because the trailer from its very first outset from Lionsgate themselves got absolutely ratioed into oblivion. Not as bad as some of the ones we've seen out there, but this is still very much so a situation where much more people do not like this trailer than like it. As you can see, 89,000 downvotes and 68,000 upvotes. And as you can see from the thumb that's highlighted, I was one of those people that actually initially liked the first trailer. But as more of my Borderlands friends out there decided to describe this to us, we now know exactly why this rating right here has come in after Thursday night previews over there on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 51%. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute abysmal failure. This is not a good start on any way whatsoever, and I'd imagine this is only going to lead more credence to the fact this movie will absolutely fail and cost this company hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office, and it's only beginning right here, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait to see what the numbers end up looking like on Monday to once again confirm our predictions of this movie losing hundreds of millions of dollars. So we're going to check out Rotten Tomatoes, check out your guys' score over here, and honestly get into some of the reviews that you guys have as well, because this trailer is this movie is getting absolutely roasted in the comments out there. So we're going to break all this down. We're going to show you a little bit of the numbers and also show you that why this is obvious why the Take Two's CEO out there begging is going to fail miserably as well. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, ladies and gentlemen, because we are inching our way closer and closer to 1,200. And I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Were you one of those ones out there that went and saw Borderlands at the early previews? Or do you plan on going and seeing it? Or considering the absolutely abysmal reception that has come out for this movie so far, is it something that you're just not even going to bother with, not even going to wait for it on streaming? Now, let me know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. So let's get into this, right? Let's get into a little bit of the backstory out here for this game. So if you saw some of our previous videos out there, you'll know that the Borderlands CEO out there is absolutely begging for fans to give this film a chance because it's already got such an abysmal rating from the critics already, with something going on here with a 5%. This thing premiered with a critic score of 0, ladies and gentlemen. That is something that I have never seen on Rotten Tomatoes in the entire time that I've been covering this stuff. Obviously, you have to go check out some people out there that have been doing this a lot longer than I have and doing a much better job of it than I have, going out there to actually verify this, but this is the worst one I've ever seen, and a 5%, 73 reviews. But as usual, we don't really take the critic. We always take the critics with a grain of salt. The important part is always the audience reviews, and with a box office weekend opening of $1.3 million. I mean, literally coming in as what? It literally came below Despicable Me in the process, below Twisters, below two movies that have been out for a long time. Twisters has been out since before Deadpool and Wolverine. And even then, you could not get enough audience interest to come out there and see this movie. And obviously, we now know why, because the audience has spoken. Obviously, we got this one right here, one of the most recent ones. He doesn't follow the lore of the games exactly. To show itself was wait, listen to this one. Tell me this isn't a bot. Although it doesn't follow the lore of the games exactly, the show itself was fantastic. It was as chaotic as the games in all the right ways. But this guy gives it 5-star reviews. Show? It's a movie. Now, as a person that has mistyped a million times, which I'm sure all of you have as well, could this person have possibly done this? Yes. And been referring to the movie? Possibly. Or could this be a bot account? Or could this be somebody paid to just pump this kind of stuff out there and put this in, which we have seen before? But this one, another one, what the flip? Brian just puts Claptrap bows down verified, supposedly. But here's another verified from Jerry R. right here. This movie was nothing like the game series. The humor and imagination was lacking. The storyline was butchered by people who think they know what's right compared to the source material. The casting was poor and the acting was just above poor. This was another story that somehow tried to paint with a Borderlands brush and went way far outside of the lines. The sets did look good, which was a saving grace, as this movie should have went directly to the bargain DVD bin. Ooh, burn, ouch. Get Lionsgate, Take Two, take some ice, get you some ice out. Ooh, that is bad, that is bad, that is bad. Wow. This one, Team T, gives it a halfway decent rating. Didn't follow most of the story that I can remember playing the games, and setting it up to have more films should have been a longer movie. So we can see the vault fight. Can we see that it's going far, but it needs a lot of work for it to be good. Another one, worst movie I've ever not gone to see. Well, he probably didn't actually go see it, which is why the verifieds are kind of nice. This one I love though. Would rather be forced to play the Borderlands 3 and its entire DLC than watch this again. And as most of us Borderlands fans out there know, the third game is where everything went wrong and the DLC just made it even worse. Actors chosen for this movie are just straight up wrong. No chemistry and god-awful acting. As someone who has played the games, this was very disappointing to say the least. This movie should not have been made. Also, the casting could have been better. Kevin Hart, and when was this movie even made or announced? Just a bad movie. Really not like the games. It goes on and on. The film is just a flea market ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. Director Eli Roth is way better than this. I intended the cinema specifically for this film, and I must admit, I nearly left due to its disappointing quality. The plot is virtually non-existent, the fight scenes are unengaging and lack cohesion. Overall, the film suffers from a lack of structure and depth. It's a rather unremarkable experience that I find hard to believe would capture anyone's interest. Here's another one. I saw this movie last night. It was as rough as the reviews suggest. Only memorable scenes are what was in the trailer. Color shocked there. The plot twist was so obvious within the first 20 minutes of the movie too. Whenever you spend so much effort to say special several times, it's not that. But it just felt all over the place and as random as the games play. If the movie had been something like how Telltale made the episodic game with a strong story, it would have been much better. Horrible Stewie for a horrible casting. Jokes didn't land, and this movie was ruined for many fans with the script material. And this is what happens. This is what happens time and time again. You get these wonderful intellectual properties that have been farmed out and are now owned by companies that don't care about them and don't know anything about them and weren't involved in the development and certainly don't care what the fans and a lot of the big game folks out there enjoy about these beloved IPs. Borderlands is a great franchise. It's random, it's crazy, it's absolutely insane, and it's been a good time going all the way around. But at the end of the day, when you do not farm this out to people who either understand and respect the IP and might even be fans of it, or even worse, people who have no desire about it whatsoever and are not willing to do the homework, this is what you get. And guess what? This is how things pan out. 1.32 million from the initial launch out there, from the initial previews. A film that was absolutely ratioed by all of the fans out there with 89,000 downvotes. This is what ends up happening. 51% premiere on the audience score with over 100 plus verified ratings. Not just your general audience, right? Not just the other one out there, right? Not just this one. These are verified ratings. They don't even give you the all audience score anymore on this one. They only will give you the verified audience score. That's how bad they are hiding this stuff. That's how abysmally bad it absolutely is, because this is abysmally bad. A 32% score from the all audiences. This is bad. This will fail miserably and will end up costing Take Two and Lionsgate hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office, because this is what happens when you decide to take an IP that you think is fancy and that the marketing people tell you everybody loves and adores, and then you give it to people who have no respect for the games, have no respect for the source material, have no respect for the IP, and at the end of the day, the worst part of all of this, have no respect for the fans. You license out an IP like this, you purchase into this to make a movie because of the built-in audience. And when you decide to ignore them, discredit them, and think you know better, Well, guess what happens? You end up with a 32% all audience score, a 51% verified audience score, and $1.32 million in Thursday night previews. Getting beat out by a rom-com. If that doesn't deserve shame, I don't know what does, ladies and gentlemen, because Borderlands is going to be another box office disaster of a dumpster fire, costing Lionsgate and Take Two hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess what? You get exactly what you deserve. After all, Take Two and Lionsgate, you did it to yourself.